everyone, it's Catherine. I'm checking in with you. I wanted to tell you about two things that are coming up that I'm very excited about and I want to share. Mark your calendars. The first thing is a webinar that I'm offering on shadow work. It's essentially an introduction to shadow work, but I'm calling it Healing the Spirit Within. I have two sessions coming up. The next one is next Tuesday at noon Eastern. Next Tuesday, February 15th at noon. And then I'm doing one the following week on Thursday, February 24th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Trying to accommodate folks in different time zones. And this is a paid workshop. This is a $39 workshop. It's a crazy deal, y'all. I'm trying to share what I know about this work in the best way possible. This is just a crazy deal. It's crazy. I want to get into this healing through shadow work, this approach that I'm taking to shadow work, which isn't anything like rocket science, but it's a process and it's a way that you can get through something. I'm calling it a framework, and it's really helpful for those people that are just kind of like, I don't have any like real spiritual practice, or I'm getting confused. There's all these different things and ideas and practices within the spiritual community itself. It's like, what's spirituality? So I want to get down to, and this is what shadow work helps you do. It helps you get rid of all the excess things that are not you, so that you are just left with all that is you. And that's a really cool thing, but you have to kind of discover it, and I call it excavating. You got to excavate yourself and see what's underneath all of the layers of the pain, years and years of, I know people in I always just speak for myself. I try to, and I speak for everybody else, but generations of repressed feelings. I'm like, we've all been talking about this now. We all know that there's stuff that we just didn't talk about things before. And now things are coming up, and they're coming up because we're in this time, the time of COVID and the pandemic. We're in a time of something that is affecting the world. It's affecting all of us. So we're all going through this really big experience, and we're all handling it in very different ways. And some of us are going stir crazy. Okay? I was one of those people. So what I want to do is help you guys find ways to kind of reconnect with your spirit in whatever way that means to you. So what I don't want to do is kind of like get you to follow the things that I follow and believe in and my rituals and practices. I'm not trying to do that. But I am trying to get you aware of the things that you really believe in. And a lot of times, like, we say we believe in stuff, but when we really start breaking down our thoughts and realizing the things that our thoughts are dwelling on, we're dwelling on a lot of negativity. We're dwelling on a lot of pain. Like I said, there's like that pain from the past. There's emotions that are coming up that we don't know how to deal with. I've met a lot of people who, young and old. That's the thing. I'm like, this spans... We got to use this stuff, these kinds of conversations and talking about this pain and healing. We use it to open up our compassion and to have more empathy for one another. When you know that somebody has gone through the same abusive marriage that you have, maybe they're 20 years older than you, but they just went through the same thing that you did. Like we're finding ways to come together. We're finding ways to be more compassionate with each other, and we're finding ways to listen. And shadow work helps you do that because it helps you address all of the things that kind of held you back. It helps you find those unconscious behaviors that are actually holding you back. And it's really beyond behavior. I take it down to the level of belief. So we talk about beliefs a lot in this workshop. We get into what that means. We get into, what does spirit mean to you? Maybe it doesn't mean anything. Okay, well, I'm going to find a way to show you then when I'm saying spirit, it probably means something to you and you're calling it something else. So we're going to talk about how we communicate with each other, and how we can all kind of do a little bit better in understanding each other. But it really starts with being able to understand yourself. Know thyself, knowing yourself from the inside out. And just, I was one of those people that, if I've been watching somebody like me, I've been like, who are you? I know myself. I've been to my spiritual thing. And so I ask you to come then with an open mind, because I was that person who was very skeptical. I am skeptical of everybody I see up on the social media. Always, because I have to experience something for myself. I'm always open. I love the crazy. The crazier the idea, the better. The more woo-woo, spiritual, bring it on. But eventually those ideas have to translate into my life, and I have to have experiences that are validating my beliefs. So we're going to get into all of that. And it's only an hour-long workshop, but it's enough to get you in and understanding what we're talking about when we talk about shadow work, how it can really benefit you, especially if you're someone who thinks you're having a spiritual awakening. We talk about what that means. There's some other things I wrote on here so I don't forget. Maybe you're just approaching it from just wanting to feel better, because that's what really it boils down to, like just wanting to feel better. I wonder if my voice is echoing around the room. I can hear it echoing. Anywho, sorry. What else are we going to do? Yeah, so it's just, if you haven't heard of shadow work, then forget that part. We're just going to talk about how we can navigate the times that we're in and start feeling better from the inside out. And for me, that is like, let me get to the core of my inside. I define that as my spirit. If you are not in tune with your spirit, really in tune with it, and following your intuition, balancing that with effort, action, logic, we balance these things, guys. We don't go to one extreme and then say that the other doesn't exist, because that's what we keep doing. So we're learning how to live more balanced lives. We're learning how to be more understanding and empathetic, but really it starts with you. It starts with your relationship with yourself, your relationship with whatever higher power, whatever that thing is in you that brings you joy and helps you make sense of why we're on this planet. We're going to get down into it. You're also going to get a copy of my book. Come on, that's a good deal, y'all. I'm giving you, it's an electronic copy now. You ain't getting a hard copy. But you get an electronic copy of the book, which is great because it has exercises in every chapter. And it's not just about, I was kind of like, shadow work isn't just shadow prompts. It is not just writing prompts, but it is being able to go within. And a lot of people don't know how to go within. A lot of people don't know how to sit with themselves quietly. Forget meditation. We're not even going to talk about meditation just yet, but I'm talking about just sitting quietly and trying to maybe not have zero thoughts, but I say instead of trying to do that, because I used to always think meditation was I have to sit here and literally try not to have any thoughts running through my mind. And then the more I tried to do that, the more I had thoughts running through my mind. So again, we'll talk about all that in this seminar, or this webinar, excuse me. It's again coming up next Tuesday. Get you on the registration, y'all. I like to have fun. As you can see, like it's going to be serious. It's serious stuff. But I want to show you how I was able to get through things. I have found a way to pull myself out of dark places. I've experienced a lot of the things that everybody else has right now during these tough times. And not even during these times, other times in my life that were tough. So that's one thing that I'm doing, and I hope you'll join me. I'll just keep putting this message out, and hopefully, it takes a little bit of bravery. It takes being able to look at yourself, being able to own up to some things about yourself. But also in that owning up, that's where I come in and kind of like I have to put the mama bear thing around you so that you understand not to be hard on yourself, to go gentle. I didn't have that guidance when I was doing this work. And I could you could get yourself down into like really dark places, kind of like ruminating over things from the past. And why didn't I do this? And you beat yourself up. So I'm here to help you not beat yourself up, because we're really going towards restoring that relationship with the deepest part of ourself, our spirit, or our soul. You can call it that too. The other thing that I'm working on is something for intuitive business leaders. A lot of, I have in the Healing Through Shadow Work, it's a private Facebook group that we have. There are a lot of coaches and healers, and then of course a lot of folks looking for coaches and healers. So I'm trying to work on how can we all communicate better? How can we all do better by the people seeking us out, the people seeking help? How can we recognize some of us, myself for example, that I didn't set out to be a leader. I like to use my air quotes. I did not set out to be a leader. If anything, I am like the reluctant leader. But when you find yourself in a place where you're influencing others, even just my little group and my little book, influencing others with your ideas, people coming to you with advice, I think it is so important. It is imperative. I mean, you got to do it. It's imperative that you first get yourself right, get to know yourself and know yourself so that you can come correct with people. Gotta come correct, y'all. That's how we learn to come correct. We do our shadow work. So I'm calling it an Intuitive Business Leadership Alliance. I want us to learn how to work together. I want us to learn how to see other coaches out there, and instead of criticizing them or being like, judging them, silently judging, instead of doing that, I want us to learn how to communicate with each other, how to reach out. Maybe you're joining you go into a group because you want to learn about, maybe pick up some clients. I know people do that, guys. I want to teach you guys also how to communicate, right? I'm like, this is just stuff I grew up doing because I had good teachers. I had a good mom who knew how to just say what needed to be said. She was very direct. That's the one thing I do like about my upbringing. My mom was very direct, if not a little blunt. But I am too, so it is what it is. Hey, Paola, what's up? I got one person on the feed, yes. I was talking about my upcoming, the two things I wanted to talk about is this upcoming shadow work webinar. But the second thing that I just started talking about was this Intuitive Business Leadership Alliance that I'm starting. So it's going to be a membership thing because I want to get people who are serious. I am also, really getting my business going this year. Last year it was like, let's create the group and call yourself coach, but we're really just sharing our knowledge here. I did that all last year. So now we're trying to we're getting down to business. Okay. So I want this to be a monthly membership. I want to roll it out in March. And I really just want it to be a group of these business owners who have business offerings that support the spiritual community. So that could be a lot of things. I mean, it's not just coaching. I know I just said coaching, but life coaches, spiritual coaches, whatever other kind of coaches there are out in this community, energy workers, healers, shaman, astrologers, tarot card readers, oracle card readers, witches. Yes, I said witches. Okay. Health and wellness practitioners. Anybody, because I believe this work sits outside of these things. And so whatever you've heard about shadow work, I'm bringing shadow work into it, of course, because one of the things that we want to continue to work on is communicating and supporting and uplifting each other. That was my thing. My mission statement that I've written so far is that we're committed to supporting and uplifting each other through collaboration, knowledge sharing, and heart-centered leadership. We're going to talk a lot about heart-centered leadership, people. Some of the principles that I want to focus on, and I'm just getting these out here because I want you guys to hear it. If you're a coach or you're somebody that might be interested in this, I would love to hear from you. I would love your feedback. I think this is super important. Leading from the heart with a focus on that heart-mind coherence. And I talk about that in the shadow work. What we're trying to do is get our hearts and our minds in sync, in coherence, working as a whole unit. To do that, you have to be in your heart space, I call it. We'll talk more about that later. Honoring the emotionally vulnerable through conscious business practices. Honoring the emotionally vulnerable. I've seen too many coaches out here recently talking about abundance and justifying prices, ridiculous prices for courses because it's abundance and we're all abundance and everybody's abundant. I work with those people who maybe never had abundance. Maybe you to even understand abundance, you got to get a feeling of it. How do you get the feeling of abundance if you've never felt abundant? So we have to talk about our feelings. I know it goes back to the webinar, but that's also part of the shadow work coaching toolkit. I've put in, there's a webinar in there for coaches. We have to talk about what it means to get into a feeling, because we tell people to just be abundant, and it's not that easy. Especially when you've been through stuff. That's why I'm like, so some of these people been through stuff. I'm the coach for the people that have been through stuff. It's hard to just just open your arms and be like, yes, everything's positive and wonderful, because there are those coaches that they do that. That's their skill. They help make you feel good. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I really do. I just think there's also that responsibility of the coach to be like, who am I really going after? Not going after, that sounds bad. But who are these people that I'm convincing that they have abundance in their lives, but I don't realize that, oh, this person just came out of an abusive relationship. Oh, and they're going to charge all this money on their card and it's going to mess up, I'm witnessing things happening is all I'm saying. So that's where all of this is coming from. It's coming from, it's time to step up, guys. I keep hearing people talking about, I don't want to hear one more word about New Earth. I don't want to hear it. I want to see people embodying the vibe of New Earth. I want to see you treating people like the people of New Earth treat each other. I mean, like, why do we make it sound so far off, and instead of just being in the moment and being better people in the moment and learning how to, and if you can't do that, that's why you need shadow work, guys. So part of the weekly thing for this Leadership Alliance is going to be, we're going to have weekly Zoom meetings that you can come to or you don't have to come to, but it'll be focused on different aspects of business. So it's shadow work, partially because I'm involved in it, but the other side of it is, let's talk about these business skills. I'm bringing my own skills to the table here. I'm bringing my 25 years of working in corporate America, how to communicate with your clients, how to communicate with your colleagues, how to support one another, how to deal with these shadows that come up when we're dealing with, amongst ourselves and with clients. We have to make sure that we're not projecting our own stuff onto clients. Like, I really just feel that there's just a level of accountability and responsibility. And wouldn't it be nice to know, if you're a person looking for a coach, or if you're looking for help, that you are that you're going to someone who is a part of something, that has really good intentions and like built on integrity and honesty, and I'll stand up and talk about it, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I'm excited for this, guys. I'm really excited. I want to have panel discussions, have people come in and help, with the business side of things. Sometimes we need help, like, what language do I use on my website for blah, blah, like all those little things, but also balancing that with the support that we need around the spiritual, the emotional side of running the business, which is just, we're emotional beings, we're spiritual beings. So we're learning how to balance the heart and the head, even as business leaders. So I'm very excited, guys. And that's it. Thanks for letting me come on here. I decided to do a live instead of trying to upload a video because it's too much of a hassle. I am really looking forward to next week and in the coming weeks. Please reach out to me if you have any questions about shadow work. Sign up for the course, y'all. To me, this is a no-brainer. You want to learn about shadow work? You want to kickstart your journey and really start feeling better? Come on. Or at least come sit for an hour and hear me jibber jabber and get a laugh. You got to take steps. You got to be brave. You got to take the steps. And then you have the support. I got the support for you right here. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you all very soon.